Morning, guys. I swear people are really dumb. They're just dumb. I don't know what else to say. I go to the same Dunkin' every morning, okay? It's on a busy street, and a lot of times the drive-thru will hang out it'll overflow into the road. But you gotta come from the opposite direction, and then you kind of line up along, like if you are gonna park, and that's where people stay to get into the drive-thru. They don't generally come from the opposite direction and sit in the street with their blinker on for 5 minutes, waiting for the drive-thru to move. As people don't know what you're doing, people probably thought she was broke down or whatever. So I'm like, I can't sit here behind this chick, so I'm gonna go around like I normally do, and I'm gonna go pull over there, and I'm gonna let her in. Well, of course, she thought I was cutting her off. You ain't cutting me off, lady. People are so stupid. She comes barreling into the freaking parking lot, barking. I don't know what she was saying, but I'm like, you dummy. You can't just sit in the middle of the road with your blinker on. It doesn't work like that. I'm like, if she would have got out of the car, I could have explained it to her, because clearly she has Michigan plates. Maybe she's not from around here. I don't know, but everyone that lives in this city knows this Dunkin' Donuts overflows like that, and knows that you got to come from the opposite side to be able to sit in the line to get in, right? Was I going to sit with her with my blinker on too in the middle of the street? No. I went to the other side, but she thought I was cutting her off, and she wasn't happy. Then I see her going to open her door like she's going to come out and tell me something. I was like, oh, I wish you would. Come on, I wish you would. But she didn't. She didn't, the dummy. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't going to cut her off. But this is just how people, she could have did that in the first place, because no one moved, right? She was going to be in the same predicament as if I didn't do that to her, and she was sitting in the street with her blinker on. I don't get it. I really don't. People have no common sense. They've lost their thinking. I don't know what to say anymore. So you guys remember I was talking about Philly and how they've had over 100 homicides already just in this year, from January to now. And there's a channel I follow called Morals Over Money. And he is from Kensington. I think that's how you say it, Kensington. And he goes around and interviews people who are addicted to drugs, homeless, usually people that are addicts. And he'll show you what's going on out there, because you certainly don't see this on your news. Just like we're not seeing the overflow of homeless people in Cali, right? We don't see that stuff on the news. We don't see any of these big cities devastation on the news, right? They don't talk about it, because these Democrats that run these cities don't want you to know that they do really have shithole cities. I don't mean to swear, but unfortunately, it's the truth, right? We just had them get some of them off the streets in Boston, because it was getting really, really, really bad. I don't know if it worked, but they did get rid of the tents and stuff. They came and gave them eviction letters on their tents, which I think is crazy. But anyway, so he popped up last night. Apparently, and this is what I'm saying, guys, where people have no care for life. They don't care if you have a child. They don't care if they kill a baby. They don't care if they kill a granny. They don't care. They're cold-hearted killers. And even this guy agrees. It's the younger generation. It's these younger kids that they just don't care. And the kids are getting younger and younger that are joining these gang members that are committing these acts, right? Where does that stem from? Lack of family, guys. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, I'm a single mother. My kid's not in a gang. My kids aren't in a gang either. But guess what? They could be a statistic if I lived in the right place at the right time. Luckily, I don't. Luckily, I never let my kids roam the streets. I didn't let my kids out. Because I know how it is out there. Freak that. They have their certain friends that they hang with. They go to their house, and that's it. My kids aren't running the streets. Not only because of that, it's just because it's crazy. You never know if they'll come home. You can't today. You just can't. It's not like when I grew up, I could ride my bike from my city, from my town, all the way to my grandmother's house in the city. I was 10, 11 years old. No problem, I'd ride my bike. 45-minute ride. These kids today, I wouldn't let them do it. I would be paranoid. I don't care if they have a phone. It doesn't even matter. But anyway, so let's get back to Philly. Apparently there was a dad carrying his baby and had, I guess, other kids with him. and someone shot at him. I guess they killed him. Isn't that sad, guys? Like, you can't even be with your kids and be safe. Now, I don't know. Obviously, there's a story behind it. Obviously, somebody wanted him dead for a reason. The police are saying this wasn't random. This was an act of intention. But it's crazy. Like, them poor kids are going to be traumatized for the rest of their life. You know, even though they got to live, they got to live with that. You know, like, I don't know how cold you got to be to shoot some dude while he's carrying his baby. Like, I just don't. I can't even fathom it. Anyway, then there was another story. This guy tried carjacking. So I guess what they do out there is they order food. Okay, they'll have an Uber come, or they'll have the Domino's guy come, and they'll send them to some not a blank address, but they'll send them to some vacant lot somewhere, and they'll get out and they'll try to look for the address, and then they rob them. So this guy, I guess he was delivering pizza, pulls into the lot, gets out, starts looking around to see where the hell is people, what's going on here. As he gets out, the kid jumps in his car and takes off, his minivan. But what the kid failed to realize is that his wifey was in the car and his 3 children were in the car. He had an 8-year-old in the back seat on the second row, and there was a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old in the last row of seats sleeping, so he didn't see them. So I guess he threw the wifey out, drove a little further. I would have been screaming, I want my kids. I don't know that. I mean, I guess he had a gun on her though, so I can't say what I would have done, but I don't think I would have got out of that car without my kids. I don't know. I don't know if I would have fought. I don't know if I would have gotten shot. I just don't think I could have done it. But anyway, he takes off, and then he takes off again. He realizes he got an 8-year-old, throws the 8-year-old out a couple blocks down, keeps going, and then he realizes he's got the babies in the back. And then finally he gets caught, and everybody's okay. But, like, this is the craziness that's going on in your world as we watch Ukraine and Russia. Like, when are we going to get help? When are we going to fix our streets? When are we going to give these kids opportunities? These kids that are already doomed to fail before they even have a chance, guys. It's so messed up. Imagine living in a city like that. We just had a bank robbery, armed robbery in the town I grew up in. And the town I grew up in is a very low crime, has very low crime statistics. It's not a town where you would think something like maybe the city I live in, but not the town I grew up in. So, it's happening everywhere, guys. People are desperate everywhere. People are drug addicted everywhere. All ages, all creeds, all colors. It doesn't even matter. Everyone's suffering, and it's showing, and they're not doing anything about it. If you want to go and check out his channel, because he does, like I said, he interviews a lot of addicts. He once was an addict himself. I, too, am in recovery. I've been going on 14 years. So, I really appreciate that he does that, and I appreciate the people that let him record and tell their story. But it's really sad, guys. Not one of them people wanted to be there. Not one of them people said, when I grow up, I want to be an opiate addict. I want to stick needles in my arms. I want to smoke crack. I want to shoot meth. I want to smoke meth. No one says that when they're kids, It's so sad. It's so sad how we judge. We don't help people. Because you know what? That makes a difference in someone's life. Having that help or not having that help makes a huge difference. But anyway, I just wanted to come on real quick and shoot that out since I did talk about Philly the other day. And boom, here you go. It's continuing. Obviously, the crime is going to continue to go up. But like he said, they're already backed up with all of these crimes because they're low on staff too. The courts and everything. I told you guys, the courts are backed up like crazy. This guy did have a mask on. So people are using the mask to commit crimes, which we all used to say in the beginning. Like, you could literally go rob a bank right now or commit a crime because, you can cover your face now and nobody thinks anything of it. You could walk into a bank right now with a mask and a pair of sunglasses and nobody would think anything of it. Where just 3 years ago, people would be looking at you weird and you'd be standing out, right? So it's a lot easier for people to get away with stuff, guys. which is why I think this facial recognition is coming. I really do believe that that's what's going to usher it in, is the crime's just going to continue to go up. But I guess we'll have to wait and see, right? All right, guys. I did good. Kept it to 10 minutes. I may be back later. I don't know. If not, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a blessed day and stay safe.